Okay. I have been fucking around with the settings of OBS for the past, I don't know, probably not that long, but it exploded my brain. It's so hot and my AC isn't working. I forgot what I was making this video about. And the weirdest part is that the best microphone that I have is in my trash ass earbuds. And as you can tell, the audio quality isn't that good in these at all. So you can just imagine what are the other options I had. They were much, much worse. Today's video is a rant video explaining how difficult it is to learn something for free. I always thought learning instruments should be free because no reason. I just think that it should be free. There is no reason. But it's like, okay, this video is all over the place. I'll explain the story. So basically, almost a month ago, I got a keyboard. That's the sound of the keyboard. Can you hear it? I did a whole unboxing video and I'm so excited to play it. And I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be awesome and great, and I'm gonna play the keyboard, and then, you know, it's really easy to sing with the keyboard. But the problem is you have to learn to play instruments, and it takes a lot of time to learn to play instruments, but I thought that I'll be able to knock it off because the internet is great for learning things. That is one of the most positive side effects of the internet. And y'all know that I play the guitar. Not very well, I would say. I'm pretty average, but you know, it's one of the best skills that I have, and I learned it online, regardless of what anyone says. I learned to play music online. I have been a child of the internet. I have been raised by the internet. And you know, this whole music thing started off in 2020 when everyone gets obsessed with music and puberty or whatever. Especially 2020, it was a whole thing because we were all locked inside and I was discovering music, and it was great, you know, it was awesome. It was not great because hitting puberty and the lockdown was no, I would not recommend, 0 out of 10. But I'm showing off. I learned to play guitar online, and I thought it would be the same for keyboard, but it is not. It is much harder to learn the keyboard online than it is to learn the guitar, because the guitar, you can just pick it up if you have one and then go look up how to play guitar. There are so many tutorials, that too, not only tutorials, playlists is what I'm trying to say. There are actual courses online which could, you know, help you play the guitar. What I learned guitar from was Marty Music. Most online guitarists learn to play guitar from Marty Music, and that is because he taught the basic chords, and then you can just go on Ultimate Guitar and find songs you want to play and then play those songs. But the main problem with piano is you can't do that. Did I hit record? Shit, hold on. Okay, it is in fact recording. But the main thing with piano is you have to learn to read music, and I don't want to learn to read music, I just want to play the keyboard. But apparently I cannot do that because all of the music that has been made for the keyboard has been in sheet music, and even like pop songs is on sheet music, and people are like, no, you can find non-sheet music and you can learn to play songs. The thing with that is that on guitar there is a set number of frets where you can play the chords. No, there is not. But like the basic chords are on a set number of frets. The thing with piano is you can play these chords anywhere. You can play it in the high half, you can play it in the low half, and it'll still be correct. And I don't know what to play. It is much harder to learn piano than it is to learn guitar. Yes, there is the pain of learning guitar. It is also very hard to learn the guitar, and that is why I'm not good at it. I am fine at it. I would still call myself a beginner because I cannot do solos. I cannot read tabs properly. I cannot do most of the things that an average guitarist can do. But I just like to produce music on the guitar. On the other hand, it is very hard to produce music on the piano. And you can just dance along and just play whatever keys, but I want to play songs. And even like pop songs, you need to know chords. And for some reason, I am finding it very hard to play those chords because they're not in any set shape. Or you can learn like this particular shape and then play all throughout the keyboard and play like different chords or the same chords in different octaves. And it's a whole thing. It is so difficult, and there is no particular free course on YouTube that is like motivational but also teaches you a lot of stuff. So there is nothing like Marty Music or Justin Guitar. There's no equivalent of that for piano. Of course there are tutorials. Of course there are tutorials for everything on the internet. But what I'm trying to look for is a free course, and I cannot find a free course that works well for me trying to learn the keyboard. And either that's my chair or I can hear something going on outside. Okay, but the thing is, with the guitar, you can learn a set number of things, and then you have so many songs that you can play. You have the whole pop genre to you after learning the basic major and minor chords, which are almost in the same shapes. Or you can say the same thing for keyboard, like all the chords are almost in the same shape. But it's so different because I can remember the shapes on guitar way more than I can remember the shapes on keyboard. But maybe the better way or like the main way to play keyboard is to play the notes. But if you want to play the notes, you need to learn how to read sheet music. And that is a whole another venture of its own, because I do not want to learn to play sheet music. Why would I ever want to learn to play sheet music? I like classical music, but I don't want to play it. I just want to play chords and be able to sing with those chords and be able to produce music. But I cannot do that because I'm struggling. And I did not expect to struggle this much. I didn't struggle when I had to learn how to play the chords on the guitar. That was pretty easy. I learned that in like a month. This, however, I cannot jot down like 5 chords in 1 month. I have, from when I've been playing. I have been playing since 3rd May, sorry. And today is 24th May. So it's almost been a month. This month is almost coming to an end. By the time I was playing on guitar for a month, I had all the major and minor chords down. The progress on the guitar felt much faster than it is on the keyboard, and that is taking a toll on me because I did not expect that. And I'm so disappointed, and I'm one of those people who, if they fail in a task, they don't want to do it ever again. But I have made a commitment. I bought this with my own pocket money. My mom is like hating on me for buying keyboard because she's like, this is just one of those hobbies you're gonna quit and never pick up again. And I want to do that, but I also don't want to do that because I want to prove my mother wrong because I'm an angsty teen and that's the only thing on my mind. And I'm procrastinating trying to learn the piano because it just seems so much harder than the guitar. I was able to learn and grasp the guitar so much more easily, and the keyboard is so much different. Obviously, in this, you can see the structure. The guitar. This is my guitar. This is my baby. Y'all have seen her in so many of those covers that I make. This is a guitar, if you didn't know. You can pick it up and play anytime you want. It has frets, and all of the chords that I learned in my first month were on these. Hold on, I need to check if it's visible on camera. Yeah, sorry, the lighting's gonna be skewed for a bit. All of the chords that I have learned have been on these 4 frets. That's it. It has not been 66 keys, which I need to learn to know what all the chords are. It has been 4 frets with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 strings. 6 strings on 4 frets is not that difficult to learn. Meanwhile, 66 keys is a whole different thing. Learning all the notes is like learning another language, that too a written language. Everybody knows it's much harder to read a language than it is to speak one. I have been struggling, and I know there are courses on how to play the piano too, the keyboard, whatever. But there is nothing equivalent to the greats of Marty music and like Justin guitar. There's nothing equivalent to that. I guess because everybody knows everyone gives up on guitar so easily, there are so many tutorials and so many like good teachers. But piano and keyboard, they're built on this such discipline. Because when you think keyboard, you think of those awful, awful piano lessons where the parents force the kid to learn keyboard or piano or whatever. But guitar, no one forces you to learn guitar. Guitar is not treated as an instrument which has this kind of academic status to it. Keyboard or piano, on the other hand, you are considered like smart or whatever if you learn it, which is why it has such like this background of you're disciplined if you learn the piano or keyboard, or you're smart if you learn the piano or keyboard. But guitar is not treated as such, and maybe it draws that type of people in who are more chill and relaxed in relation to whatever instrument they're playing. So I live in Greater Noida, and there's always some sort of construction happening outside. I am so sorry. At that too, it's like 7:30 p.m. and there's bullshit happening in my neighborhood. It's so annoying. Dude, I'm just a kid in my room wanting to learn how to play the piano. Why is this so difficult? It should not be this difficult to learn an instrument. I mean, obviously, it's incredibly difficult to learn an instrument. But why is it so different in relation? An instrument is an instrument. Music is music. While the guitar is such an easy instrument to grasp all the basics on, why is the keyboard so hard to learn the basics on? Why cannot I grasp the concept of chords? Or, I mean, I know what a chord is, obviously, but like, why can't I understand how to? Why can't I remember? Is what I'm trying to say. Why can't I remember what chords to play? Or why do I have to learn sheet music to play songs? Because if you go on Google and you search any song, and you write piano, I want to learn this on piano, what are the chords or what are the notes? It will give you images of sheet music. And I don't want to learn how to do sheet music. Or it could be nice to learn how to read sheet music. But sheet music is so hard to understand and learn. I looked up how long it takes for someone to easily be able to sight read. It showed like 7 to 8 years. I don't have 7 to 8 years. You know how much time I have? I have 1 year. Or if you include this year, I have 2 years. From where I have to learn instruments, I have to get good at music, I have to join a band, I have to get experience so I can get into a college where I can learn music. And it's a whole thing. I want to pursue music, but it's so difficult. And I did not know when I was 4 years old that I should start learning an instrument. If I had the brain capacity I have now at the age 4, I would have picked up an instrument. But obviously, a 4-year-old is not thinking about college. I am thinking about college. And how am I already out of water? This was like full. How long have I been recording? 16 minutes. Okay, my videos are usually 20 minutes, so it's fine. I have the OBS screen open beside me so I can see myself because I'm a huge narcissist. And it's so hot. For some reason, I have air conditioning in my room now. Fun fact, I moved. When I finished 10th grade, I moved. And now we are in a different place. I live in Greater Noida now. Maybe I shouldn't talk about where I live on the internet, but I don't think you're gonna find me. I barely have any subscribers anyway. Okay, that's better. Oh, oh my god. Why is it this hard to learn keyboard when it was so easy to learn the guitar? Why is my experience so different? So many pop artists know both of these instruments. Why is it so difficult for me to learn both of these instruments? And the worst part is I'm feeling this like incoming deadline of college wanting to hit me in the face and completely crumble me with rejections from all the colleges I'm gonna apply to. I don't even know where I want to go. I just know I want to study music. And there are people asking me what I'm gonna do after 12th. And I don't know. I don't know at all. What if I'm unemployed after I get a degree in music? What if I don't get accepted into a college in the first place? What's gonna happen then? Am I just gonna stay with my parents forever and have them completely berate me every day for not getting a job and a degree that matters? Is AI gonna take over my job? Is this just a childish dream that I have to learn music? Is it worth it even for me to learn piano? Is it just gonna be a trash skill at the end of the day? Am I gonna have to earn money only by busking and I'm never gonna get a real job? Is that what's gonna happen to me? Is AI gonna take my job? Is that a thing? Because that seems like a thing. It seems like AI is gonna take over my job and no one is really doing anything about it. There are no regulations on AI. There's nothing. I can lose my future job, which I don't even have yet. It seems like all of these colleges that take you in for learning music is only for the kids who started learning music at such a young age, like those, not prodigies. No, that's not what I'm saying. Prodigies is a whole different thing. I'm not a prodigy, obviously, as you can tell. But it really seems like the kids who started learning an instrument at the age of, I don't know, really young, like pre-primary, like 5th grade or 4th grade or 3rd grade or even 1st grade, those are the people the colleges are trying to target because they have all the skills already. They know how to play the instruments. They have a basic knowledge of music. Meanwhile, I have nothing. I'm just a kid on the internet who likes music. That's it. That's all I am. Are these colleges even going to exist in the future? Is AI just going to take over them? This, it is like I saw an ad for this app that generates music, and it sounds like pretty good music, honestly. It sounds like a generic pop song, but generic pop songs is what almost everyone listens to. Meanwhile, I see that my time is up. It has been 20 minutes. And y'all have just, if you have stuck around for this long, thank you for listening to my ranting. This has been, what's my outro? I haven't done this in so long. You know, I'm just gonna say bye. And please try to make sure that AI doesn't take my job, because if it does, I'm gonna have to go into a stupid stream like commerce or fucking science, and I hate both of those streams with all my heart. Or I'll have to become a lawyer or something. I don't want to become a psychologist or a lawyer. I see those are very stable professions. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. I mean, psychologists are cool, but I don't want to, no, I don't want to do that. That seems like a very soul-sucking job. Please make sure that AI doesn't take my future job. Please try to do that. And I will see you in the next video, where hopefully I have learned a little bit more about the piano and the keyboard, and I can play a couple songs. And I'll see you all later. Bye!